Cherished viewers and those who may be listening to our podcast series, welcome to the Perissos Horizon Chat Room. Your host, distinguished Toastmaster Patricia Jifa-Mensah-Lakai, noted in her book entitled Fearless, Fabulous and Flamboyant, The Importance of Recognizing and Celebrating Our Different Milestones Attained in Our Quest to Realize Our Dreams in Life. The journey into becoming the best version of yourself comes with struggles, challenges, and sometimes the feeling of giving up is so strong. Perissos Horizon is here to encourage and support you to never give up. You have it in you to do exceedingly, abundantly, and above all you could ever dream of or imagine. Stay connected right here. Let's listen to the experiences of others, learn lessons from them, be inspired to do more, and together, let's keep scaling higher heights. Do you have an inspirational, educational, or motivational story to share with us too? What's stopping you? Simply send an email to perissos.horizon@gmail.com. What is the Perissos Horizon chat room about? It's all about you. The Perissos Horizon chat room series, as stated by the initiator and host, distinguished Toastmaster Patricia Jifa-Mensah-Lakai, is a platform intentionally here to nurture a culture of celebrating each other's notable milestones. She believes we must not despise our humble beginnings. Instead, we must find a community of like-minded people to support each other, create effective collaborations, and celebrate our small or big success stories. This will encourage us to keep persevering towards our next horizon. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at DTM Patricia Jifa-Mensah-Lakai and like our Instagram and Facebook page at Perissos Horizon. Until next time, keep scaling higher heights.
Good afternoon, our cherished viewers. Welcome once again to the Perissos Horizon Chatroom series. As you're aware, I am Patricia Jifa-Mensah-Lakai, your host, and as always, I am delighted to be bringing your way an amazing guest. She is a young lady with many versatile skills, and I would love for you to hear from the horse's own mouth. So I would invite into the studio our guest for July. She is in the person of Miss Precious Christon-Quao. Hi, Precious.
Hi, Fat. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you too?
I'm fine. It's an honor to be with you this afternoon.
The honor is all mine. I just love your smile. So radiant.
Thank you.
And as I was sharing with our audience, one may be wondering, who is this young lady who has so many paths to her? I want you to share with our listeners and our viewers who Precious is. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Precious. My full names are Precious Nam Christon-Quao. I'm born of a Ghanaian father and a Nigerian mother, so sometimes forgive my accent, sometimes it gets mixed in a way. And I'm a passionate problem solver, and it has taken me a long way. Currently, I'm the lead partner for Oyster Group of Company. Oyster has, we are all passionate about solving problems. Number one aspect of our business is IT, where we have brought about digital transformation and have created a lot of impact for a lot of organizations. You could check out our LinkedIn pages to see the recommendation and we've been doing a lot of impact. And we also, another aspect of our business, which we launched in 2020, is on the building material sales and rentals. We look for ways to save costs for our clients, and the
Okay.
testimony has been awesome.
I know if we want to unpack all that you've achieved within this short time, I know we wouldn't want to leave. But before we delve into that aspect, tell us a
Yeah.
bit about how it was for you growing up. How was Precious? Because, we always say there's a little kid in each and every one of us. So tell us
Yeah.
about that kid and what were her dreams and aspirations, and what was it generally for you growing up, hanging on to that?
It's really interesting. I was born into, will I say, a middle class family. My father is a teacher, and my mom was a petty trader. And I'm the first among seven girls. So you know what that means growing up. My father will tell you he doesn't have money, but he just have to read book.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I love
And
that. The
that,
fact that he made you get interested. I mean, serving girls, it would be
yeah.
so daunting. And for him to just direct you in that path, to love to learn books. I mean, he knew what he was about, I'm sure.
Yeah. So even though he has been guiding us on learning books, and not just about learning, but I'm somebody who want to take action. If I
Exactly.
read anything, I want to try the practical aspect of it. So I always find a way, even if anything I read, fine, you pass your exams, but I still ask myself, how can I practice whatever I have learned? And it's been really interesting. I also have had serious challenges growing up, coming from such family. I remember when I was in secondary school, my immediate younger sister, I think I was in JHS 3 and my sister was in JS 1. So my daddy does some funny things. If he doesn't have money for you to go to school, because we pay transport to go to school, public transport. It's like Trotsky. And then was in Nigeria, we call it, you call it either Moluwe, or it's a public bus. So some days he doesn't have enough money for us to go to school, and he says he'll just come and touch the window or something and say, "Oh, this is dirty. For that, you're not going to school. You sit down and clean." It's not that he doesn't love you. So I wonder, why didn't you tell me yesterday to do it? Is this morning that I'm supposed to go to school? And even at that, you must have studied your book ahead of your class. So if I'm in a new term, we must have finished everything with my dad from the previous term. So whether you miss school or not, you still perform greatly because you're already on top of your game, right? But
Wow.
the fact that he made me not to go to school, that they hurt me so much. So every time I make sure I clean up everywhere so that he does not have an excuse.
I
Until when
think
he checks that he doesn't get an excuse, then he will say, "Okay, I don't have money for you to go." That's a problem for me. And those are one of the things that trigger my life on trying to solve real life problems at all stages of my life.
wow. So you realize that that formative stage and the experiences right from home had some bearing in terms of the steps and actions you took later on in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Aside the intention, not to have your daddy let you stay home to finish your work and to miss school, what else would you say has been one of those memorable occasions which changed the course of your life into your career? One of
Okay.
those things, yeah.
So there are so many, it's not just one. So this school, something has been one of the major issues, but to solve the problem of the school, I make sure I and my sister, then when we're going to school, they give us separate transport money to go to school. But we decided that we will carry ourselves. We say it's lapping. I don't know whether it's happening these days. So I carry my sister on my lap to school. So
Yeah.
instead of both of us to pay the transport, we carry ourselves. Then we only spend half of the money. Then half is available for us to use next time. So when daddy says, do not, you are not going, we say, "Oh, I know where you are coming from. We have transport, we will go." Right. So so we're able to solve the problem. We never miss school again because of that. As that is not only that, I even have to buy groundnuts, like peanuts. I
Yes.
fry it and I drop with my neighbor. Some people, when they come, when we prepare groundnut soup, nkati soup.
Yes.
So people like, they will come and start chewing my groundnut because we're in a compound house. It's a government and residential house whereby you have other people from different works of life in the compound. And when we cook, our kitchen was not in this modern kitchen now. Then it was outside. So if you're doing something, your neighbors will see you at the corridor frying groundnut or doing something. So
Yeah.
before you know, my friends will come and chew the groundnut. They say my groundnut is crispy and nice. So since they like it, I thought of using our money for transport to buy groundnut, and I fry it and went to drop it with our neighbor who sells provision shop, and people liked it. Before you know, I keep on getting more. Do you know, I end up saving money that is enough for our transport every month from the groundnut.
Wow. So
So it's
you
another.
basically have been entrepreneurial right from childhood. You
And this
learned.
is at the age of 12. I wasn't even up a teenager at that then.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow, that is amazing. And
yeah,
as I listened to you, I was just looking at, in terms of the societal awareness, and how society probably also projected itself on you. You were seven girls.
yes.
How was that for you? Having to, I wouldn't say all be getting your resources from your parents, etc. How was it like managing and ensuring that what you were doing to multiply or even create extra income for yourself was translating to younger ones? And how did that shape your approach in life?
That wasn't easy to, because then my mother sees me as being the first, and there's something she said, as a firstborn, you are the dustbin for others. So even my siblings, they can live rough and behave as they like, but I dare not. I remember that even a time I had to go and cry to my uncle that I don't know why my mother is treating me this way. My siblings can go and play. I dare not go and play. You make sure somebody will do something
You
wrong,
are
then
the
I'll be beaten because
automatic
somebody has
leader.
done something wrong. So but as we've grown older now, I'm so proud of my siblings. I've inculcated a lot of finance knowledge in them, that no matter what they do now, they see a very good culture of saving. Even in my son is 11 years old now. Last time in December, he came and he was giving some money for this. He said, "Mommy, I know you have paid for my fees and you have bought all my provisions. So this money that they gave to me, invest it for me." And do you know this? But I have a note. I shared it on my social media handle. My friends were laughing. He wrote it, how much the money is. He wrote in word and in figures, and
To
wrote
hold you
and called me his.
accountable.
Yes, he said, "You are the investment manager, and him, he's the investor." And our last born is his favorite. He said that is his witness.
Oh
So
my God.
so you can
What?
imagine at age of 11, he does that. When he was 10 years old, he told me not to celebrate his birthday in school. I always celebrate because he's a January born, and I always celebrate his birthday because it's later end of January he was born, end of January. and he's always in school. So I will celebrate it right from the kindergarten till he's in second in JHS now. I celebrated that's his 10th year. This boy called me and said, "Mommy, please, I don't want. I'm in a new school." He was in a new school then, and he doesn't want people to know him. So I
Wow.
shouldn't celebrate his birthday. I should invest it. I actually used his the money I was to use for his birthday celebration to buy him MTN stock. So
Wow.
it's
That is
trickling.
a smart kid. That is a smart kid. It means that he is learning a lot from you.
Yes,
And
yes.
I believe that he is going to, um, I mean, be more enterprising because already he's learning the importance of investing to grow his financial, accounts and get some portfolio for himself. So moving away from that, I know you have had several experiences working in over three continents so far. What took you out of Africa into Asia to Europe and back? So tell us, take us through that journey.
Okay. Um, Fast forward to while I think in 2020, no, 2010, I was working in a firm, Wilmar International. We all know Wilmar. Wilmar is in Africa, Europe, Asia, and some even I think there are investment firms in America for now. But
Yeah, tell us
then
more. Some viewers may not know what Wilma does.
Wilmar is an edible oil production company, and they also have other aspects of businesses in agriculture. But I was there as an IT manager for Africa, and my role was to recruit local because they wanted to give room to a lot of locals in Africa business, and I was recruited as the head of systems anyway, and I was to sit to the IT and the SAP. SAP is the software because hardware. Sometimes when you hear of IT, everybody only think about hardware, network, and all those things. It's not only that. The major chunk is coming from the software aspect. If you know, the investment in software is more than what you even put in your hardware for a big organization. Some small organization, they think their IT ends in their laptop and their network. No. For big organizations, the chunk money goes into software. So I was overseeing both the IT and the system aspect. So my role there was as a SAP and IT coordinator, and I was to see through to Africa. But with time, because of my impact, for me, I work like a crazy person. Some people call me precious pressure in the office. For me,
Ah,
some,
precious pressure. I love that.
knowing that if you are not done, nobody's moving an inch. So and I was leading the team. I will make sure we all finish and we excel. And another thing, I celebrate my team. Thanks to your book too, because I like what it talks about celebrating your successes. So when my team performs, I celebrate them in one way or the other. So even though they call me precious pressure, but they still enjoy one way or the other too from their successes. So I make sure I reward their success. Yeah.
That's work and
So
happiness.
yes. So a role came up in there's a company called Lador. They're into oil logistics, like crude oil logistics and form of but they wanted me for a particular role,
Mhm.
also to play the same role as head of IT and systems for them. When you check, I have every qualification for the role, but at the end I was not given the role. I asked reason why, because it's not I just contacted the HRM, was like, why was I not given this role? I know I have all what it takes to handle the role, and as half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, so you have a greater advantage working with me. They told me, even though I have worked with Europe and other places, I hadn't stayed live in Europe to work. you have not felt the environment. That led me to looking for opportunity to go practice in Europe. And applying for job if you don't have a permanent resident and doesn't, it's not easy. But one of the easiest ways is through education. And
Wow.
education to the
Daddy
fees
is
are
right.
so much. Yeah, the education too is so expensive, and I have savings, but I can't chuck in everything. I tend to look for scholarship, and I got a scholarship for women in technology to go study in Europe. The major aim is to be able to get. I was like, I want to break this barrier. I want to
Yeah.
have a Europe experience and thing. And when I got there, I started getting. I did a lot of things. I got more offers to do some other things. So it opened door for me for a lot. So those are what led to me having work in different places, not only online but physically.
What an amazing journey. And I believe you have learned so much and gathered so much experiences out of your travels.
Yes. Another
What is
interesting thing that even though I went to study because I wanted to get the experience and things, my mindset changed. When you're applying for school, you'll be told to state your reason, your objective for the study and things. Before
exactly?
the objective was to get the Europe experience. When I got to school, I changed my mind. I said I want to use it to create an impact in the society and solve problems. It was like crazy. When they'll come, they'll be telling you this is what is required in job market. I said I'm not interested. I'm interested in what is required to
Um,
solve problems. So
um,
whatever thing you are teaching me, then I'll ask how am I going to apply it on day-to-day life. And if we don't tell me, and I'll go back and make a research, the application. And I studied artificial intelligence and machine learning in Europe and in my postgraduate. And I keep on looking for how I could use those skills on basic day-to-day activities and how to help businesses in it. And at the end, I wasn't looking for job again. I came back, I started businesses.
wow. So, what would you tell that young lady, that young gentleman who probably is in senior secondary and they are into the sciences and are thinking of what career path should they take as somebody in the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics field? What would you say to encourage that person to stay focused?
So I will say, don't just look at what you are being asked to learn, but look beyond where you are today and look at application of knowledge. Action is very important. Don't just learn for learning's sake. Learn to apply. That is one thing that had helped me to this level. And also, don't do anything because other people are doing it. Are you really interested in it? How are you able to make an impact in it? Don't just do all. I know parents are pushing children. Because I can't even go to that because my father said I'll be a medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, and most of my friends are medical doctors today are not doing better than me.
You see?
And so don't allow your parents to push you to do what you don't like. Just focus on yourself and what can you do, and always think how are you impacting on society. And there's one song, I'm not very good at singing, but it was in primary school. They taught us, they said if you have anything to do, do it and do it well.
That's
So
good.
as you are in school studying, whatever thing you are doing, do it and do it well.
Do it and do
Before,
it
I
well.
used to think about multitasking and things. So multitasking is good, but I will encourage you to focus. Whatever thing you're doing at a particular time, do it to the best of your knowledge at that time before you move to another thing. Thank you.
So it is truly important that one finds that unique thing or unique field that they are passionate about and they are able to give it enough concentrated attention to sharpen their skills in that area to gain some expertise, if I understood you correctly.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, for somebody who believes in growing through problem solving. What are some of the problems that you notice? And I think we'll come to your experience in Asia. But in Europe, what were some of the problems that you also noticed? And returning to Ghana, what are some of the new ways that you have found to improve our own situations back home? Because you work with multinational organizations or companies, and most of these, I believe, would have systems that cuts across the various countries they work with or work within. So, what are some of the problems that you have, through your experience and knowledge, been able to resolve and even make it impact those in Ghana and beyond?
Okay, so when we talk about problems are dynamic for different organizations at a particular time. Like in Manchester, for instance, in PZ International in Manchester, their sales were not really doing so well, and everybody was looking at sales. But when I did an analysis, remember, with my skills in analytics, I ran through the system. Everybody is looking at sales, but sales was not actually the problem. I saw that the problem was coming from supply chain. You remember they have high tax rates in Europe, and when I look at it, I see the cost of buying material from different places to execute their job. And some places we can even advise them to do what we call subcontracting system. Like PZ, for example, they have the perfume business, for example. And the material that are used for the production, if they buy everything in Europe, the cost of production will end up being high, and at the end, it have to trigger to the final consumer, and you check within the industry who is selling at what level and how. Even though we say, okay, we are making an impact, you sell value more, but also you think, how are you going to lessen the burden on people? So when I did the analysis, I saw that this tax rate is affecting the cost of goods. So we rather work on, look at areas within the multinational firm. Remember, they have branches in different places. So in supply chain aspects, I now encourage that they buy items from places whereby it's cheaper. Some of the product, like some of them coming from Asia, will be cheaper. Some of the product, like when it comes to containers and things, are cheaper from Asia and things. And when it comes to production, like flowers and other things that is used for the fragrance and things, some of them are coming from the Netherlands, and there are branches in different places. Why not you segment people to be responsible for this area? Then they get it, the local company get it and distribute to others, or they get a company which can subcontract in those places, whereby they give them raw material, you just ship the final product to another place whereby it is scarce. So we try and work on supply chain. Supply chain, remember, we are not only talking about procurement, we talk about logistics, housing, and distribution too. So um, we saw that even it made their sales, because the sales cost, they start running promos and get more sales, and the of production became lower, and it yielded at last. Remember, every business is profit that everybody is
Yes,
looking at,
it's looking at
and
profit.
it
So
trickled down.
would you encourage similarly for companies, for instance, in Ghana, to outsource, looking at the
Yes,
fact
there
that you
are.
are also looking to, of course, create jobs within and all, but would you think, in terms of cutting down cost of production, that some aspects of their production line should be outsourced?
Obviously, everybody should also, we can't do everything. For me, even though I wear several caps, it's not easy for you to handle everything all alone. That's why we have administrative staff and co to do different things. The same thing happened to us. In Africa, we encourage production, yes, but do we have the products here? Instead of you Why not focus on things you have locally that you can produce? Our soil, for instance, might not be wonderful for apple. So you
Yes.
encourage producing of apple juice here, then you import the apple and now pack it here and produce. Why not, if we have pineapple more, why not we focus on pineapple that we are growing more? You understand? So
Exactly.
it's not a one-way answer. It's really dynamic and dicey. So you check in different, we have different climatic situation in different countries, right? So what can you take advantage of in Ghana? What are the things that we produce more? Can we do the best in that area? And we market
Focus
that
on
to the
this.
world. You understand? Then you say you want to do, we are into agriculture, you do everything, and you try, your climate is not good for some of these things. Okay. So
That's true.
that's what I will advise them.
Yes. And then now we'll go into the more things and impacts that you're doing through Oyster, and we would be wrapping up shortly. So tell us how you are solving problems through Oyster group of companies, and what also led you into your own entrepreneurial projects.
Okay. Oyster has four key businesses that we do. Like the number one has been IT, whereby we've been solving a lot of problems for companies through technology solutions. And the second business we have is the building material sales and rentals. We keep on looking for which areas within the industry that we can cut costs. So we bring in shared economy. I've brought in a lot of shared economy to save a lot of cost. And we also help people who want to set up, let's say, Airbnb, for example, supporting in the hospitality industry. We guide people to set up their Airbnb and to make profit. For me, I'm a super host 8 times consecutively.
Wow.
And I also have an ultimate aim for freedom, financial freedom. So recently, I'm also teaching people financial management. Do you know what? Some of my friends gave me money to invest in business, and I'm paying out 10% every 3 months. So,
Wow.
which is even bigger than what
I shall see
uh,
you afterwards.
so we are trying just gradually. We are not there yet, but we keep all these things are different problems we are solving. And if I start getting deep into how I came about these things, there are different challenges I have myself. Then I try to solve it. Then at the end, I turn it to business. IT is
Yes,
something I've been doing every now and then, and I know it's something you can do without putting money, because the money I have put in education and other things are okay and continuous learning. And I solve problem for people, they pay me, I reinvest it in something else. So
exactly.
that's
So it's
it.
all about reinvesting because you have already invested so much into building that capacity. And so
Yeah.
this is the time to reap and benefit from it. What will be your final words for us as we wrap up today's session? Because I know definitely there must be a part two to this conversation. We just can't exhaust all of it in this episode. But what will be that key takeaway you want people to have after watching this session?
To solve a problem, like I mentioned before, that if you have anything to do, do it and do it well. In a job, whatever thing you are doing, in your academics, make sure you are the best at what you do. Like I was mentioning, over 80% of my income comes through referrals. So people who have worked with me in one way or the other keep referring. I don't market that much, and yet people just come. So just do you and do the best you can, and the money will come.
Wow. Just do you, do the best you can, and the money will come. It is just like the biblical I know you also have that golden rule that is your mantra. So tell us about that as well, because especially when it comes to working with organizations, that high ethical standard. Yes.
So my golden rule is to do to others what you wish to be done to you.
And I
it's
believe
it
that solves
trickle
a
down
lot
to
of
your
problems.
business, in your job, in your day-to-day activities, what you don't like to be, even your relationship, what you do to your partner, will you like it to be done to you? So in every area of your life, always think about, if whatever thing you're doing to any person at a particular time, would you like it to be done to you? That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Precious. I know you are a very, very busy lady, and I'm so honored that we've had this conversation. Well, our cherished viewers, I hope you have taken a few nuggets to help you in your current situation. Whether you're thinking about the relevance of improving yourself, your skill sets, or your educational background, or simply even borrow a book. Read what it says and let it help you build something out of your passion. People are not earning from their hobbies, people are earning from their passion, and they're doing so well. You have heard it all from our guests, and I hope that if you missed any aspect of today's session, you can always come back to the channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and replay, because a lot has been shared here. And I believe we would have another occasion to have Precious join us in the studio to tell us about especially her journey in Asia. Thank you so much once again, and we look forward to having you back on the Perissos Rising Chatroom series. Please don't go away. Let's listen to why the Perissos Rising Chatroom series is here, and it is here to stay. Thank you.
Do you have an inspirational, educational, or motivational story to share with us too? What's stopping you? Simply send an email to perissos.horizon@gmail.com. What is the Perissos Horizon chat room about? It's all about you. The Perissos Horizon chat room series, as stated by the initiator and host, distinguished Toastmaster Patricia Salakai, is a platform intentionally here to nurture a culture of celebrating each other's notable milestones. She believes we must not despise our humble beginnings. Instead, we must find a community of like-minded people to support each other, create effective collaborations, and celebrate our small or big success stories. This will encourage us to keep persevering towards our next horizon. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at DTM Patricia Salakai and like our Instagram and Facebook page at Perissos Horizon. Until next time, keep scaling higher heights.